Welcome to another midnight tasting of wines with me, Gina. I have 3 bottles to taste with you. Won't you taste with me? It's midnight wine tasting. Let's fucking taste 3 bottles. Let's start in Oregon. Let's start with Walter Scott wines. We've had Walter Scott in the past, but not Chardonnay, which is in here. Sojeau vineyard, right up against the Van Duzer corridor. Let's check it out. They are using French oak to age, with 50% of it being new. And then they put into stainless steel to rest for a handful of months, like 6 months before bottling, which creates a bit of a reductive environment. They are definitely made to age. This is pretty young. This is 2022. You could throw this in your cellar and have it age longer. You could definitely decant it if you're opening it young. There's more of like a toasty brioche that comes out, which for me is that like reduction in there. Usually you get like matchstick or flint with reduction. There might be a touch there, but it comes off as more savory for me. But really bright and lemony. It smells citrusy. Should we taste it? Happy Saturday night. Oh, that's so good. That is so good. Really bright, high acid on the palate, and get a lot of lemon. There's a bright lemon, like fresh lemon zest, but there's also something savory on there that reminds me of preserved lemon rind, kind of like a salty lemon, a savory lemon. It's got a good weight to it, coats the mouth. Lovely salinity. There's a little white flower on there that I would almost like classify as daisy white flower. And then just a lovely greenness. It's giving me flower buds before they're capered. Pre-capered flower buds. Does that make sense? For this being done in oak, with half of it new oak, hides it very well. This is... And what did I have it paired with? I had it paired with a starter this week. I had it paired with bluefin tuna that was seared rare. It was sitting in a mushroom and bonito broth with cucumber Parisienne, pickled daikon, matsutake mushrooms, both roasted and freshly sliced, and mint leaves. I shock myself sometimes. It's good shit. Let's move on. Let's move red. Let's move into Burgundy, into Beaune. We have Dominique Lafon. Oh, Dominique took over his family's winery in the 1980s, and then in the early 2000s decided to create a second line that was more specific to his own makings. That's what we have here. And this is 100% Pinot Noir coming from Premier Cru Vines in Beaune. Epenottes? Sure. What is this, 2017 vintage? Check it out. Gorgeous burgundy color, semi-translucent, little purple, little ruby, little burgundy. This is a big glass, oops. Really pretty nose, very subtle, the touch of like depth and woodsy quality, slight earthiness, some tart berries, some riper pink cherries, maybe just like throw a little bundle of herbs in there. Just a little. Okay, let's taste it. One more. No, this is fun. This is very fun. Quite light on the palate, just like what I was getting on the nose. There is a little bit of earthiness, right? The little terroir. There's a light, like freshly tilled soil, little rockiness, little white mushrooms, but then bright tart cherries, bright tart cranberries, little blueberries, touch of herbaceousness, just a touch of like maybe some mint that's growing off in the distance, and some like quack grass. The thing that I'm getting from this wine though is it just like it does this like crazy stretch. It does this crazy stretch between like feeling like you're grounded in the vineyard, and then all of a sudden you're soaring up to the heavens, you're soaring up into the clouds. It's like transcending you, it's throwing you from the ground into the air in a single sip. How is it doing that? The magic of wine. Shooting me to the stars. Crazy fun fact too, I did not intend this. So it's Eric and Ken who started Walter Scott. Ken actually worked with Dominique on getting into wine at Eating Lambs in Oregon, because Dominique was doing some consulting work for them. So back together for one pairing. It's meant to be. It was meant to be. Oh, how small the wine world truly is. Should we hit this last wine? Okay, final wine for the lineup. We're back to white, but high acid white. Dr. Konstantin Frank of the Finger Lakes in New York. We are giving the East Coast some love, because I love East Coast wines. Why is there such a brawl between East Coast, West Coast? Fuck off, drink East Coast wines, as well as your West Coasts. Also, Dr. Frank, legend winemaker. Legendary for the American winemaking history. Came over from the Ukraine, planted some of the first European grapevines in Finger Lakes. In here we have Riesling. Some of those from the first Riesling vines that he planted in like the 1950s, 1960s. In the glass, it's very clean and crisp and clear. There's just a touch of color, barely a touch of color. It moves with incredible ease. It looks almost like glacier water. It smells like Riesling. It absolutely smells like Riesling. There is a little bit of that petrol. It smells like there could be some sugar on there, even though this is dry bottling. There is a little bit of sweetness on the nose too, and some fruits, some apple and peach, and maybe even like a little like tropics, like pineapple. But it smells cold. It smells cold. Okay. Again. Yeah. It tastes cold. And I don't mean like it tastes cold like it just came out of the fridge. There is something about this wine, it just holds on to the fucking ice. It holds on to the cold. Like, its quality is just cold. It's like sucking on an icicle. So much Granny Smith apple juice. Freezing cold, ultra juicy Granny Smith apple. Tiny bit of pineapple. Just enough to feel that acid like kind of eating away at your mouth. A little bit of a stoniness, but like very small river stones. Small river stones in a glacial stream. There is a little bit of that petrol, but in such an awesome way. Such a Riesling way. This is so delicious. Clean and dry finish. Dissipates off of the mouth. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. This is like if you get like super high and you took a bite of a Granny Smith apple that you pulled out of the fridge. I think, I would not know from experience, I think that's what it would taste like. Okay, thank you. I didn't want to call